All right. Welcome back to day two of putting some finishing touches on our corn rocket base. So, if you're new, we just launched a rocket on this island using only the power of corn. No oil. We did not refine a drop of oil the entire playthrough. We did not use a single contract the entire playthrough. And we still managed to launch a rocket. Every bit of power, electrical power, generated on this island is made from corn. Ground into animal feed, run through a boiler, turned into electricity. A lot of corn. So we set out to launch the rocket. We did launch the rocket, but we have a little bit of time left, so we are trying to put the finishing touches on the base, do some of the technology that we did not get to, including data centers, before Update 4 comes out in a couple weeks. So we did a stream the other day, 2 days ago now, I guess, that had the first part of this work, and we got a good amount done, but nowhere near all of the things. I have a little to-do list, and it actually got longer after I took a quick look at where the base was at off camera after last time. But we wanted to finish our Greenhouse 2 upgrades. We did do that. In order to get to data centers, we had to get gold and microchips sorted out. We at least got through some basic microchips, enough to research data centers, but that's it. We are currently actually doing that, but in order to use it, we'll probably have to scale up our production of that, which is pretty pitiful in the short term, but it's enough to get the research going. That was a start. The other thing we need to get going is we need some more farming. We need to transition a whole bunch of mines, and there's tons of odds and ends. We'll get to them when we get to them. But before that, we have a couple emerging disasters. The first of which is we are very nearly out of limestone, which is a huge issue. This quarry is turning more and more rock, so the proportion of our buckets that come out of here is less and less limestone. And that's a huge deal because limestone is a big part of fertilizer 2, which powers corn, which powers our entire dang economy, and our fertility is torched. So longer term, we're gonna spin up this mine. We already have a lot of the infrastructure. All good. Hello, Victor. Welcome back. First 2 days in a row. Well done. Well done. The other thing we have to do for limestone, though, is thank goodness we have a quarry already repaired because we really need to get some supplemental limestone into the base. We have a serious problem if we don't take care of that. And that one snuck up on me. It's one of the things I don't care for about our system, the way it's laid out. I'm not sure I have a solution, but it's very hard to have an eye on fertility until you see it rinse out in, oh my God, we have no corn. So I try to keep an eye when we're out of fertilizer here, but there's really no difference visually between, well, we have almost enough fertilizer, not enough to back it up, but enough to run it continuously, and we have zero fertilizer. So, whoops, all good. We'll get through it. But that's the first thing we have to do. Get some limestone in here, and I will go get it manually with the ship if we need to. The next thing I want to do is sand also really needs reinforced. We moved off of this mine last time. We could keep piling it out into the ocean because it's not update 4 yet in order to try to scrape some of this stuff off the bottom. It's conveniently located next to our electronics 2 work, but it's just not a long-term solution. We started a mine over here last time, which I think actually worked out quite well, and we're running a train. It's just not quite enough yet. So again, we're going to do a short-term fix, which is to grind up all this quartz we brought over, and a long-term fix, which is to increase our throughput with some additional excavators and trains. And right now, the issue is not mining throughput, it seems, it's storage. So I avoided as much as I could having actual massive storages in this area because I felt it'd be a little cramped. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So we'll have to do this, I don't know, probably a couple different ways here. Because I'll want to have, for example, this is going to be our limestone, so let's build, already with that in mind. I think what we probably want to do is have, say, a storage here, here, maybe here if we need it, something like that. So I think we'll go, maybe sand is here, limestone is here, and neither of these is going to get any sort of truck interaction. This will all be belts. So sadly, I think we'll have to change this around. That's all right. Let's just do something like this. Actually, we need the lower one and the higher one, which is that lower. Yeah, that's right. We'll need the higher one copy pasted over here. And then from here, we'll have to run that in down below manually. That's okay. Go ahead and clear this all out in the meanwhile. Do we have any Unity? We have some Unity. Let's speed this process up. It was very fun last time interacting with chat while also trying to manage all of this. I have to say, I think I probably let a little bit slip, and or it's just at least easier to pause and then like stare at it for a while and be like, oh, you know what else we should probably do? So worth it, but I'm gonna try to keep a closer eye on it. I bet I fail this time. So be it. It's more fun to interact with people. All right, I think that works. So that should be sand. Let's get all that going. And then we'll do the same thing over here with limestone. I guess we'll do, I don't know, maybe just like this. Like so. Probably have to change up which of these come out where, but we'll come back into the limestone mine in a moment. We bought ourselves time, I think, with this quarry. So a couple hundred already there. We'll send the ship in a moment. We'll take a little bit longer first, though. The other thing I wanted to do was get another, do we need another sand train? I wanted to check on this line, see how we're doing. We have 2 trains on the line. One's blocked up by the other. This one, who is probably just, yeah, there's a lot of traffic. Hopefully this gets sorted out. I cannot wait for update 4 higher throughput trains. Train traffic will become not a thing of the past, but we'll have another tool for managing it. We're looking forward to it. One of the things I definitely want to do today is refactor this train station area. It's just too jammed up. We've got one very high throughput line here. I think that we have 4 iron trains, something like that. We probably don't even need 4 iron trains if we actually optimized it. But we do also bring in a lot of coal to run this whole area as well. So we need to, I think, break these off here, separate from this corn drop off. They have separate tracks, but they clearly overlap an amount that is difficult for them. So be it. This traffic area is also slightly an issue. I think we probably still need to get another train built. So let's just do that. And if we need to reallocate it, well, no worries. At least we have it first. So we have the supplies to do that. So let's do it. All right, what else do we want to get through? We need to grind that existing quartz. That's right, so let's do that. In case you want to know why the heck there's 2 big buckets here. Last time we, in order to, ease our sand transition, brought in some quartz from a quartz mine, which is out here somewhere. We didn't want to do that continuously. We realized we had the next sand mine stood up, so we tried to transition off and replaced it with coal, because coal was giving us trouble. We had this leftover pile here. So if we grind this twice, it will turn into sand. So let's do that. Sand we can actually use, and there's really nothing else to do with quartz. So we'll pass it through 2 grinders, I suppose. we could actually spin this up because this second one is not nearly as high throughput. So we could actually do 3. One of these would support 3 of these. I don't think we need to do that for what's not even an ongoing process, you know what I mean? We're just trying to get through this once. Frankly, we could recycle it if we felt like it. You know what? That actually could be kind of a fun way to do this. Save us a little bit as well. I wonder, I don't think we have the total throughput here. All right, here's what I'm thinking. Let's build this. Let's run it in like so. And then store the output here and then spin it back around. And then this will be ultimately our sand storage too. Something tells me we're not going to have enough room to make this work the way that I want it to, but what the heck? I'm having fun with it. Let's do it like that. All right, so that's going. This is good from a sand perspective, at least. We've done this, and then actually glancing at the fact that we had trucks waiting, I'm going to say I think we're okay on this, but once things get moving again, maybe we will need to add. We'll see. This is done, but I will say it's already captured down here, I suppose, but we should probably start new mine as well. All right, but I think those are, I don't know if they were emergencies. They were the most emergency of the things that I looked at with, once I turned the camera off last time, wrote myself some notes. So that's sorted. The one other thing that I would like to do, because I keep going back and forth on this, is actually get our coastal desalination to support this reservoir. I'm real tired of these alerts. And also of trucks having to come in and supplement this. So, we did a little bit of work on that last time. Our current desalination setup over here sends, well, it takes the steam from our trash, right? And does a good amount of desalination. It would be nice, though, to add a bit more steam. This is not enough to both send all the water we need to the settlement and feed all of this, even though this represents excess. I think we're going to have to add at least 2, maybe 4. Let's see. I think we can just kind of copy paste an existing setup as well. Yeah, so let's just do this real quick, at least as a starting point. Clean up a lot of that. I think we'll try to keep all of these the same. So we're actually, I would say, fine on those. These 2 are here, and they're only used if both of these are boosted 100% of the time, which is a very narrow use case that we only use when we're like, oh crap, we have a bunch of trash that we got jammed up. So I think we're going to just use those as is, at least for now, which means we should be able to just run this pipe in like that. Yeah, let's do it like so. And then of course we're going to need the steam, but I think we can manually supply this. There's a good amount of biomass we're still trying to get rid of, and animal feed is pretty accessible. I think we're okay just to supply that by truck. We probably don't have to run this continuously. If it ends up being a problem, we'll absolutely add a little bit of a storage. I think we're okay for now. So yeah, let's do this. This looks like nothing. And that's our salt water out. Right, okay. And maybe we should actually take this opportunity. Should we line it all up here? Use the same pipes? Might actually be worth doing. No, I don't think it scales very well. All right, enough hemming and hawing. Let's dive into it. So, come all the way out to here. Just remove these and redraw them. Like so. Like so. And then on the output side, for these, do we want to try to capture the brine in this process? Suppose we probably ought to. Yeah, it'd be a bit of a waste not to. It'd be very annoying to build it in later and not actually be able to, or build it in, like need it later and not have built it in now. So let's do this. We'll bring this in here. And this will actually even be a turnaround loop for the rest of the salt as well. So we'll say, if you can, of course, we'd like you to actually send it this way. Back over here and in. If that is full, then you may send it out here to the dumps. But fingers crossed, we don't have to do that. And there's room to add a third here. Good. The water itself, of course, we are going to need some of it, actually, to come out here. But the rest of it, I think we run out here. So let's see, let's flip this, bring it around like so. I think this one should be sufficient by itself. 78 seems right. Seems right. We can also bring water here to jumpstart it, so it's not like we have to worry about that being perfect. But then let's go ahead and run the remaining water. Nope, up a level. There we go. Out this way as well. Maybe, yeah, I think we can even bring it here. Perfect. All right, so this whole setup means more water supply, which is important, but only the first step. And the second step, which is much more important, is let's pave this area because gross. Do we have the Unity for all that? Of course not. That's all right. The next step, though, step 3, I guess, we'll come back to 2, is to run the excess water out here. Yeah, we still have some steel loans, huh? Oh, and I have a train out of fuel. Probably need to do something about that in the longer run, too, but not right this moment. The excess water is what we need to get sent out here, essentially. I'm kind of wondering, maybe we just expand and reuse this pipe and send it, continue it out this way. I think that's probably the move. I also think we don't need this storage anymore, and getting under here will be a lot easier if we sort of simplify that. So yeah, I think this is right. So let's instead even bring this up to a level 3 pipe. And we'll keep the height. And then what? Come through here? Think we can get away with that? Mostly? Maybe? Brilliant. And then we'll need to drop down here once that's gone. But until then, we can at least get this part built. Naturally, level 3 doesn't matter at all unless this also is. And then let's come back here and double check. Yeah, okay, so that is a prioritized out, which will be fine. Sinfaust, welcome back as well. The corn must grow, 100%. Yeah. The issue with the corn growing right now is we're kind of out of limestone as we need to navigate that transition. So we turned on this quarry. We are out of fertilizer. So thanks actually for that indirect reminder. We need to desperately get that sorted. But we're getting some water to supplement this reservoir as well. And we're gonna run it right through here. Call it here, I guess. Seems right. And we need to get out to this balancer set. Great, so let's just run along here. Is it the right height? No. Here. There we go. And we'll make that a deprioritized input. It's not recycled. It costs us. It is worth doing. We definitely want to do it, but we'll make it the lowest of our priorities. Okay, why are all of our trains running out? That seems bad. That feels like a fueling station is out of fuel. In fact, it is. Why are we missing coal? We have a train that can bring stuff here, but it doesn't seem like that is totally sufficient in the delivery. All right, I think what we might do is just get a tiny little supplemental fix over here. We need to come back and figure out what the heck is going on with our train system. But let's find out. Can you not have coal, or can you not have diesel trains, or is that DLC? We can have diesel trains. We set up our entire network around coal initially because diesel was really difficult to make. We were making it out of fuel gas and oxygen, right? This is that biodiesel. We absolutely could run diesel trains today. It just would require sort of adjusting our infrastructure. But they all got sort of coal initially because, oh my gosh, because it was easier for us to supply coal than it was to produce diesel, because diesel cost corn and coal did not. We do have a couple hydrogen trains as well. That's right. I've been using coal trains for our like mining operations because they're all far away and up and down hills, more importantly. And coal trains are a little better at up and down hills. I would move everything to hydrogen. We still could. It's slightly inefficient, but we just had already set up the infrastructure for coal trains. I mean, maybe we should be moving to hydrogen anyway, though. It's really not that bad. It's not like these are huge hills. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the end of the world. The one that would be, probably, is this one. This one will probably always be a coal train because this hill is a bit of a nightmare. But we could probably be moving to hydrogen for the rest of these. Maybe that's the move. I mean, we've started adding hydrogen to some of our stations. And our coal supply train, the one train that's running around to all of those stations, is clearly not keeping up, wherever the heck he even is. So, might be something worth doing. I need to stabilize all these other things first, although, my goodness, now we don't even have the Unity to refuel manually. Goodness. Might need a couple more rain collectors. Good lord, yeah. Thank God we finally got, like, decently scaled, like, coastal desalination, because these are so bad. You want to see how much maintenance it takes? It's insane. Rainwater harvesters are not my favorite thing at all. Look at this. Still, despite the fact that we have like a million farms and trucks at this point in the game, they're still our number 3. They were our number 1 cost of maintenance most of the game. It was pretty wild, honestly. All right, I really need to pay some attention here, I think. Fix things. I've got too much red. Like, the amount of red I see out of the corner of my eye is like, okay, bud, maybe look up. Maybe look up from the chat and figure it out. I think we can... That should sort it, though. Yeah, all right. But hopefully, you know, the more that we add of this, the more I can go back and actually delete some rainwater harvesters. There was a point where we were, like, out of fertile ground and non-flattened space to be putting these rainwater harvesters. You can see they're actually kind of awkwardly in the shape of what used to be the mountain range. They were just jammed up as much as I could. Everything's nice and flat and open now, but you can totally see the shapes we were kind of constrained by initially, right? That's why they're not perfect squares. I did end up rounding this out once this mountain range got filled, but we could use a couple more over here, that's for sure. All right, you definitely can stop boosting. There we go, this is what I wanted to do. Let's come back around, and this is now crushed quartz as well. I think let me know when this becomes empty. It's probably an alert I should set up. We'll send it back through the second time. How is the audio and the visual today? I played around between last time and this time, and I think the video might at least be a little better. I'm hoping it is. I'll be disappointed if it's not. Limestone and sand. Yep. Still the things. Well, I'm going to stop boosting this, but looks good to me, but I did have to turn you up. Yeah, it's funny. I actually have like a pickup on my microphone to make me louder. I'm a quiet speaker. And this is something that I constantly hear feedback, like in real life and also in recording, is, hey man, speak up. It's really annoying because I don't think I'm very loud. Or like I think when I speak, what people say is not loud. I feel like I'm loud. I don't know. You are 100% correct. Just scream at you. I don't know, man. It makes me feel like I'm like yelling or angry or something, and I don't feel that way, and I don't want anyone to think I feel that way. I don't know, man. That feels like something I should talk to a therapist about even or something. Who knows, right? No, it's all good. I will try my very best to keep speaking up and tell me tell me again, please, and thank you when I need to. All right, there, a little better. I'm like a little closer to the mic as well. Well, now that you've turned me up, I'm sure it's maybe a little bit much, but anyway. All right, health. I would love to also work on some health this time because I really don't like spending Unity on the health boost this late in the game. But, you know, the other part about sending the ship out a bunch is that towards the end of the game, right, the further out you've explored, the worse your diseases get, which is a bummer. But hey, by the way, we have hopefully... Yeah, let's load this up and please come home. We need some limestone. All right. Oh, our water is an issue. I was going to say, I do feel like our... There we go. Oh, interesting. This needs to be highest priority out. That's what it is. Whoops. Yeah. All right, so we need these both to be high priority out. Good. Okay. Matt, thank you. Great series. Very kind of you to say. Have you've seen the whole concept? I really it's funny. It sat in my brain for like 2 full months before I was like, you know what? I guess I just need to do this. But it's been very fun to put it out into the world. Oh geez, still not enough steel. Definitely feel like I'm playing whack-a-mole right now with about 6 different things, but if that's not late game captain of industry, I don't know what is. This is worse and worse, but what are you gonna do? The thing I'm going to do, just until this Unity crunch gets sorted, is stop researching because it's not working. Would really like, at this point, we really shouldn't be supplying anything until these are sorted, so let's do that. Well, at least he's only blocking his own line. Hopefully we have enough copper buffer. Update, we do not. Oh well. And this is really becoming a problem with the corn itself. We need desperately for this limestone to be back. Is it here? It is. Very good. Very good. We can probably pause. Let's pull back a bit. We don't have the Unity to run this anyway, so we can pull back there. I'm not comfortable pulling back on the limestone quarry yet. The sulfur we do still need. And the water is recovering a little bit. But this really absolutely needs sorted out. All right. And then from here, what research are you on? We are on data centers. So we would love if we could actually supply our compute a little bit more efficiently. Right now, it's all mainframes, which a necessary transition step, but one I hate spending too much time on. But until we can actually afford, I should not be spending Unity on research while I have trains sitting without fuel on the track blocking things up. I think that feels like the right priority. And I think we can kill the health bonus while we're not actively fighting a sickness, but let's see. You know, the nice thing, I think, about the self-imposed restraints that we put on ourselves here is that we kind of saved a lot on research. There's a whole bunch of stuff we couldn't use, so we didn't even have to bother researching. Look at every single other crop technology, right? So that's nice. It's something. It's a silver lining. Definitely not optimal, but we'll take it. My goodness. That feels like we're now losing. That's just still the water. All right, until this down here catches up, we gotta call it. Oh, is this is a botch. What did we do here? We need to pause. This is salt water. We ran the water pipe out to the salt water. We got these flipped. Okay, well that explains it. Let's see, that's an easy fix, fortunately. If a very silly problem to have given ourselves. But this was meant to be the water pipe. And then this is supposed to, let's do this side, seems cleaner. This is the salt. Whoops. All right. Hopefully that fixes it. I'm trying to fix too many things at once. You should never do that. It is easy to cascade issues into each other. Backup electric boiler. The electric boiler is a very good... Oh, drain wrong fluid. Thank you. Good point. Are we good here? We are not yet. No, I think we're okay, right? Drain it from here. Yeah, great call. Thank you. That would have been quite the problem. And this is also wrong. Yes. Thank you, Victor. That was huge. Great save. Look at this freaking spaghetti. It's the problem with sedimented rationality. The things that make sense at the time, you just end up making a mess by layering stuff onto. I should delete and redraw this all eventually, but right now we have bigger fish. Okay. The brine here, this still also needs removed. Yep. Wait, is it here? No, it's... No, this is all fine. Okay, good. Is this flowing? So why are you not? Okay, because this is now full. Oh my God, because there's water in here. Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Goodness. Okay. Yes. So technically, this water is a buffer. What we had done with this system was there was a little bit of excess water that got spit out between the water that comes out of the wastewater treatment and the incineration plant. And so in order to keep it from backing up like it is right now, because these haven't run, oh my gosh, probably need these to go at like mega speed now, right? Yeah, so that's got to go. Sorry, I just need to make sure that this actually is spitting out brine or we are kind of screwed, so. Okay, there we go. All right, finally. Also, that's very bad. That's very bad. Hang on. And that's a 4-unity swing we have to make up somehow, but we are... Wow, we are kind of death spiraling here, actually. All right, this is a serious moment for just a second. That needs to come down. These are temporarily off. We need the water saver and the farming boost we can save on maintenance. Okay. We absolutely need limestone here ASAP. We need limestone here ASAP, and here we have it. Very good. Do we have any spare mining capacity? We need to maximize our extraction. Oh man, goodness. We do, thank God. And we need you to be back here now. Can we take a limestone mine loan? No, we cannot. Okay, fine. We're gonna be all right. Let's see. And from pipe to other dump. Yep, there it is. Victor, seriously, with the save. Much appreciated, mate. All right, so this seems to be working. I actually even think we might need another one of these. But very good. So this should be good. Water is back in. We are generating Unity. Good. We're not going to fix our edicts yet until the train network is back and fixed, which will be another Unity tick at least. There we go. Okay. Low supply of quartz. Good. That's right. So we want this to be crushed quartz now. And let me know when this is empty so we can change it to sand. You can empty on intersections as well. Yeah, you're right. That would have been faster rather than clicking the pipe, letting it refill, clicking it again until it changed. You're completely correct. That would have been faster. All right, I think that's through the Unity crunch. It looks like we're okay on water. Good. Now it's time to add back as best we can. So my next concern is we need to recover on corn. It takes a minute. This is the concern. So we absolutely need our fertilizers to crank up here. That's fine. I don't mind that. Yeah. What we could do is run this excess back. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's see. The other thing we need to worry about, though, is if we have all of this sorted, I think limestone's going to be okay for now. There's some in these hills, and even if we're getting it inefficiently, it is sufficient to buy us time between that and the quarry that we're manually supplying. We need to set up the mine out here as well. So think what we'll do is get that at least sketched, and we'll dump everything else out there. The train station should also get built for it. And we'll figure out the outputs in a moment. But all the rest of that has to happen, so we might as well let it happen. Crushed quartz. Good, you are now sand. No one may drop anything off here, but they may come get it. And we should change this recipe. Here we go. Okay. Good. So that's good. Where are we at now? Now we just need corn to recover. But I think that's going to take a second, unfortunately, because good, our fertilizer, our fertility's back up. Not all the way yet, but it's on the way. Good. Okay. Is our train network caught up on all of the backup that it had to deal with? I don't think that it is. I also think, and this is temporary, you can see we started adding the hydrogen here. I think we need to add a proper coal drop-off, at least in the short term here, because I don't like relying on our train like actually getting out here in time with enough high throughput, and it's one more train on the line. So I actually think we might just kill that train in its entirety. I hope that's not short-sighted, but we have two, and then where's our third? Up here. Yeah, let's just do that. We have all of these small problems that are cascading because they're infrastructure problems. So all of that, and then in the, there we go, this line we should just, I think we should just scrap it in its entirety and delete the line. Perfect. Okay. That's bad. That's power. So we still have to work that that corn issue out of our system here. And this limestone also needs to be highest priority. I think we should probably load this and send it home. And you know what else I want to do? I should have limestone over here. I don't usually have like the basic ores on my hotbar, but I think it's time. All issues in COI are small but can scale. Yeah, exactly. That is the game, is it not? Yeah. Yeah. The number of times I've been like, all right, cool, I'm excited. There's a big build today, and we're just gonna have a nice, fun time with the build, and I have to spend 20 minutes fixing something I didn't know was a problem. Like this is par for the course, isn't it? We gotta do something. Gotta do something fun and calming here, like make more roads. Just whack-a-mole. Yeah. Yeah, it's factory whack-a-mole, man. It definitely is. All right, and does everyone who's new here actually know that they're mining limestone and not rock? Yeah. This is one that I really wish you could assign at the tower level, the focus on whatever ore. It drives me nuts that you have to do this one by one. I like having individual level control. I hate that it's obligatory individual level control. I wish there was at least you could set the default here. It drives me nuts. Or even if the default was just like not rock, like if there's one thing that is in that area. Anyway, no water. Oh shoot, is this reservoir short now? Great, just truly tremendous. And is that because this for some reason isn't working? It is. That's interesting. So we're full up on salt water here. It seems because, yeah, we just need more. Man, we just need more dumps. This is a very, this wasn't even on my radar 30 seconds ago that this was an important thing. My God. Wrong pipe direction. Victor again with the save. Where? Where was that? Sorry. You know what? Let's just do all of this as well. Try to give a default rock and dirt and give less mixed trucks, so less load on the sorting plant. Yeah. Between two dumps. Like here? Oh, yeah. Damn, dude. Good eye. This is great. I should just always do things on stream when you're around because it's for me, it's always the small stuff. Like I miss a pipe segment here or a belt segment there or whatever it is. It's like the shape is always right, but there's always this tiny detail that kind of matters, you know? Tiny doesn't mean insignificant. I think everything's okay out here, right? God. The number of teachers and bosses that have told me I should really, oh my God, and this is an issue now too, right? That have told me that I should spend just a little bit more time on proofreading, which is doubly annoying because they were right. All right. Yeah, we really cannot be losing corn due to water at the same time that we're dealing with a fertility issue. But hopefully... Oh, are we actually... Hang on, where does this water even connect up? Oh, it doesn't. No, it does. It has to. We wrote this in here. Great, and it goes... yeah, okay. We need to flip this. And frankly, probably also this. Yeah, that'll work for now, I hope. I hope. All right. Can you check my bills? Yeah. Victor, you should start a business where you just check everyone's builds. I bet you would make a ton of money. It is. Hopefully, I'm not the only person who has to deal with that. It sounds like I'm not. You're not like an editor in real life, are you? I could see that. Steel overdue. Of course it is. All right, with enough unity and some built back up, let's get the recycling back up and the maintenance back up. You've come up with a way of turning only corn and water into ethanol. Corn and water into ethanol. Your builds have the same issue. That's what it is. We need cross-checking. That's what it is. We need to help each other out. It's about having a different pair of eyes, right? Corn and water into ethanol. You mean beyond the corn mash? You mean like avoiding the oxygen? Is it the hydrogen by way of ethanol version? What are you referring to, Simfaust? I'm curious. You have my eyebrow raised. I'm curious. All right, good. The water is full here, which I think means we're okay over here. Yeah, good. And let's give these a pause. Make sure they're okay. And there's the power concern because we're out of corn over here, right? Yeah. Great. Just tremendous. It's all right. It's bouncing back. It's just not there yet. We'll be all right. We'll get through that. I hope. Let's see. How are we on limestone? Okay, this is actually going up. That is nice. The question is, does it require the mine anymore? It looks like not. I'm going to leave it going for a little bit longer just to be safe. I'd like it to be full before we turn off at least. So, water split into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, here I'm going to trace this because it's fun. So, water in the hydro or the electrolyzer. There we go. So this recipe, use the hydrogen and CO2 to make ethanol and water. Yep, yep. And the oxygen that comes from it. Yeah, okay, okay, I see it in here. And then the water back to the start. Hang on a tick. The ratios, I mean, there's no way. That can't be an infinite loop, right? All right, because if that is, that's magical. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We got to run the numbers. Electrolyzer. So it's better if we have the higher version, but we don't, so be it. So we make 4 hydrogen from that, and then that hydrogen, we don't have this recipe unlocked. I want to do that for the math. But okay, let's just take a look. So you put 2 water in and you get 4 hydrogen out. That 4 hydrogen, so a ninth would make 2 ethanol, and it would make 1 water back, which I think makes sense. So the water at the very end would be 1 water back out instead of the 2 in the front. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. So you do recycle 50% of the water, so it's actually only half the water input. Is this enough oxygen then? Because it's the CO2. I guess, I mean, you have plenty of exogenous CO2 as well, right? Because it's basically 4 hydrogen plus 3 carbon dioxide if you are using the same 4 that you get out here, right? So you're getting 8 oxygen and then consuming, call it 6 corn mash to make 4 ethanol and 6 carbon dioxide. Yeah, okay. So I think you're right. I think it's water and corn and power, I guess, to be fair, which you can make from corn. But you should account for the power because electrolyzers are pretty expensive energetically. I think that's right. I think that works. That's corn and water in, ethanol out. Yeah. Yeah, that's fun. I like that. When we can prioritize that technology, I actually wouldn't mind spinning through that just to build it. It'd be kind of fun. This is in need of some boosting when we can afford to, but the most important thing for our steel throughput right now is having the power to run it. All right, and speaking of which, that's good. Yeah, it'd be very fun if that was an infinite loop, but they're pretty good at, I would say they're like very good at balancing their recipes in general. The dev team is. I don't know. I've said it a million times. One of the things I love about this game is that it's really well balanced. There's no right answer. There are a million viable answers, and every time I think I find something that's like sneaky broken or whatever, it's like nope, no, that for XYZ reason, actually it doesn't quite work the way that you'd want it to. But the one thing I think is probably the closest to that, like finding something that is like, and I hate this word, but broken, right? That is contract loops. I think contracts are as close to broken as anything is in this game. Yeah, with hydrogen, you have some to spare. You turn that with excess N from the oxygen building and make spare ammonia for fertilizer. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, in general, I generally don't make, until this playthrough, I generally don't make hydrogen until I have excess power and can make it with the upgraded electrolyzers and then use, yeah, just have it essentially coming out in absolute gobs. From there, though, you use exactly the nitrogen as well to make ammonia. Contract loops and loans equals world eco. Yep, 100%. Post on Reddit where they recycle everything, no waste products. Yeah, that's super impressive. I love the tidiness of that. I feel like people love when you like clean up all of the pollution or something in your game. I feel like that's those episodes get a lot more attention where it's like, oh, check out this pollution graph, and I totally get it because like when our vehicle pollution went to nothing. This was one of my favorite graphs in the entire playthrough. It was just like, and hydrogen vehicles. Beautiful. You'll love to see it. Or when you do the, oh, and we have incinerators, straight to zero. Oh, we have a wastewater treatment plant, straight to zero. It feels incredible. Are we bouncing back here? Slowly pulling out of the nosedive. Very good. And fortunately, and I really don't want to jinx it, but fortunately, it seems like we've held on our fuels. I didn't want this corn crash to cascade through the things we make out of corn. Obviously, it has a little bit with power, but if it did with hydrogen, like this is how you lock up, is if your fuels get jammed up. Then it's broken. There's nothing you can do. I mean, it's not nothing. You just have to take more and more loans, but yeah. Should we go one more time out here? I think we're okay. I think we're going to let this fill up and then we'll turn it off. And then we'll be all right. Question I had, I know the flus get worse, but are we actually supplying? We're not. We're not actually supplying enough. I thought I remembered this. Yeah, so we should probably double this up, which means at least doubling this up. So this will be 24. Do we need to also go out here and increase this? We do, but it can become a chem plant too. No problem. I'm wondering if we need both of these to upgrade. Probably not. Eventually, yes, but I don't think we need this to run at 100%. If it's full, it auto turns off. Probably, but what are you referring to? Sorry, I got distracted. Ooh, speaking of things turning off, that is not ideal. Oh my god. So, one of the things that bothers me is the lack of transparency in why your trains are bogged up. And this was a great little addition, this overlay. There's like a nav overlay for trucks as well. You can sort of see where they can and can't go. This exposes the behavior of where it's looking to see if there is something. What it rarely does is explain why that's where it's looking. So like, what is this? This is just a train that's sitting here doing nothing because it's not assigned to a line. And because it's sitting there without any sort of error, our entire train network is jammed up. This is weird. I don't really understand why that's... Anyway, it's the troubleshooting part of trains that drives me nuts right now. All right, but I think we wanted one of these on sand, right? This is the one I thought we had to set on sand. Oh well, so be it. Solved, hopefully. And actually, you know what? We need to fix this. We need to get some iron across here. There we go. All right. Good. This is bouncing back. I know it still has an alert, but that's the fullest this has looked in 20 minutes. So we'll take that. And that's because the fertility is just about all the way up, all the way down to the end. That's good. For the train issue, on the loading stations, you make a waiting bay. Tell the stations don't get more than X trains in the waiting spot. Yep. Downside, take the less space. That's the thing. And this is the intersection of a system and just my personal preferences. I'm always working on making my builds a little bit less compact. I kind of like having a compact setup like this where I can fit the entire manufacturing that we do in really most of the entire island in one screen. I also don't use all the space that we have. Like if I sit here and complain about space, why? You know, like I have space to make more of these stacker type things, right? And like I tried to every once in a while, but a lot of it is just like the intersections. Like look at this. I know they need to clear out, but like, What is he waiting for? To get through there? There's one ahead of him. I don't know. It's, there's only so much that fixes. There's like high throughput areas. The only way that you can sort of fix traffic there is if they work their way through them faster. Or you can build these like long out and around intentional bypasses and stuff. And I probably should be doing that around here. The one reason I'm really not fixing this is that this mine's about to end, right? So this becomes less of a traffic point. But I could do more. Remove the stop points. How do you mean? Like on the tracks? Are we forcing the trains to stop the way that we've constructed the tracks somehow? Because I would totally believe that. I just don't know how. Because like I don't have exclusive zones or whatever, right? I don't have those anywhere really. And I don't really know any other way to impact their behavior. Could be wrong. Could be missing something. Yes, if you go to the track builder, you can remove the red areas. These are the no stop sections. So, like this. Like so. That checks if the next section is full. Oh my god. Is that what you just need to do everywhere? Okay, I'm going to wildly overcorrect and remove every single one of these on the map. Is this what we needed to do the entire time? Yes, sir. Oh my god. See, I knew I needed to do this live. Needed to get people's incredibly intelligent insights. I needed Victor proofing my builds. I needed Epic Fail Guy telling me how to do trains. Love it. Okay, so I'm sure I'm overcorrecting. Don't remove everywhere. I was just about to ask, where should I? Because now I kind of want to see the crash. And you need Syndicate Stupid Eyes. Hey, that's called inspiration, my friend. Okay, so what? All right, let me think about this then. Let's be logical. So checking the stop. So what does it do? When a train runs in here, it what? It looks ahead to the next red stop to see if there's anywhere in there? Is that how that works? Like mechanically? Because we probably should make sure that like no one enters either of these spots before coming in here. That makes sense. And in fact, we'll learn from the crashes I've inevitably just caused as well. So like this should probably be. You shouldn't go into here unless this next spot is open, right? But how far do we want that? There is some sort of train wiki built in. Yeah, read a book is a totally fair bit of feedback here. I'm pretty bad at reading. All right, at any rate, that does seem to have fixed a lot. I'm sure some of it was washing through anyway, but all right, this is good. You're totally right to say read a book. I'm also very much a learn by doing type of person, so I'm going to see what I just crashed and hopefully learn from there. See how it goes. Official YouTube short video is a good fit. I did watch that whole series that they put out initially, and I'm sure I apparently ingested less than 100% of it. But I thought it was a really good series. I thought it was smart of them to do, and I thought they did a good job with it. RTF, yeah, I think it is. RTFW, for sure, for sure. Yeah. All right, so this is, I mean, the good news is that we are hauling the ore out of here pretty quick. The bad news is, do we need, no, I think it's okay. I think we just have a lot of trains doing a lot of work. Do need the coal though. How is coal? Coal's all right. That said, I think I will do a one-time reset over there as well. Now, this is hugely helpful. I won't do all the experiments live on stream here, but I think you have inspired me to go do the wiki deep dive on where exactly I should and should not be using these. Yeah, I think this would be a really good. We were talking last time about, what should the shape of the update 4 playthrough be, and we're talking about like a city block style where it's like trains connecting everything to everywhere. That would be a really good like forcing function to really optimize train networks, right? And traffic. Just like I think I learned a shit ton, honestly, about farming eco in this. It was something that I, didn't really. I always did the minimum necessary farming. I actually typically would supply like all the different goods, but as far as like how to really min-max a farming eco around like, water supply, fertilizer supply, the different edicts, that's the word that's right in front of me, that you need to prioritize all of that. Like I understood it theoretically, but now I feel like I understand it a lot more deeply and intuitively, having played a game that really forced me to focus on that. So I could see that being similarly helpful to intentionally build around a train focused play style in the upcoming playthrough as well. This all worked out, it seems. Also, I'm gonna stop forcing the export here because that's forcing us to run stuff we don't necessarily need to. This is mostly recovered. Very good. We'll give it a little bit longer. How are we out here? Way better. And why are you not built yet? Interesting. All right, so now with the unity that we have and hopefully enough supply, I think we probably need to do is dig ourselves out of this damn steel loan. But we can also finally afford to continue researching, meanwhile at least. So let's do this. Do we try to do all of it? I think we can. One, 2, 3.5 unity. I mean, we can't, but it'll do for now. Ah, dang it. I thought I fixed our fueling issues. It's probably on his way out here. I guess the other thing is we don't really need these anymore if we aren't running a supply train. I'll leave them for a moment. Let's find out. Brilliant. Okay, so then this is all sorted as well. So if he's done, we can stop running him, and that'll be a nice little buffer to have, but I hope our sand is sufficient on map at this point. It ought to be. Maybe it's time to spin up limestone next. Yeah, let's do that. It'd also be good form, I think, just to go ahead and get those built. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move the sand stuff here and call it, do you think we can get, I'd love to just like copy paste this. I guess I already have these. I'm trying too hard to not try very hard. All right, that's enough of that. Just draw it. I don't know about you guys, when I get this idea in my head, it's like I'm probably just think I'm being too clever. But I'm like, oh, I think I see a smart way I can do less work. I thought, well, rather than this awkward set of connections that I don't have to redraw, I could just copy paste and move it over, right? And then I get caught up in the like trying to figure out how to do it cleverly. And Like, you spend more time automating the task than you would have spent just doing the task, is what I'm ramping up to. I get that feeling more often than I wish. Actually, you know what? Man, we're hanging on auto saves. The file is getting large. Let's keep these and just run it over, probably through here for iron. No. Yeah, we can run it out here. That works. So we'll still want to delete this and this. And we will need to clear it out. The ability to remove from intersections and lifts was, that was like in one of the recent patches, wasn't it? I remember thinking that was like a nice new quality of life thing, and then apparently not building the muscle memory for using it. All right, but then these ones we want to be limestone, and we might as well just build this. It still needs excavators, but why not? What's going on here? Go ahead and build that too, please. Of course. All right, I no longer need this alert. I'm like looking to clear the deck here. Okay, we've consolidated our debt at least. That's nice. That actually feels like progress. Low supply of steel, I'm very aware. Glass mix, you're missing. Also limestone. Yeah, this is my concern. I'm worried that we still kind of need to be using the limestone mine. All right, that's fine. Go one more time. Low supply iron ore, that's fine. We're running through it. Fertilizer 2 out here. How are the fertility on these farms? Nearly full, exception at the very end. Good. I think this is working. I think if I remember correctly, we needed to add another air separator in here somewhere, but it looks like everyone's got oxygen and nitrogen. Maybe it was if we also... No, we're still making ethanol too. I don't know. That must have gotten sorted out. We'll take it. What is your view on the end game of COI at the moment? From my perspective, start is kind of slow. All can play. Mid game starts with construction parts 4. You can basically solve all. End game is mostly a grind. I agree. So everything, like everything that we're doing kind of nowish feels unfinished. And I think the devs have said more or less that they also feel that way. Like update 3, where's the tech tree? Update 3, right? All of this stuff in here, I think they said something along the lines of they wanted to do a better space program, but they realized that it was worse to not have any space program than it would be to have an incomplete one. They wanted to have anything was better than nothing. You know what I mean? And I think they might be right on both counts that this is the anything version, as well as that it is still better than not having anything. I think it doesn't feel super balanced. I understand what they were going for. I know it's an iteration. I'm quite sure that we'll get improvements on it maybe as early as March 9th here. I don't know. Let's see. But like, I don't know, mining. Okay, so the pitch for mining, like asteroid mining, is if you have all of your contracts, even if you're not playing with unlimited world mines, if you have all your contracts set up, there's just no point in having any excavators left on the map once you're done with whatever terraforming you want to do, right? Because mining's kind of a pain. It involves a whole bunch of like, sifting out rock and dirt and all of that. It's also a core part of the game. and like maybe you want to do mining or have mining be relevant later, right? Enter asteroids. It's a lot of work that you have to do to be able to bring asteroids in, though. Like a lot of work. And it's all just sort of awkward to invest that much to optionally keep mining in the game. It's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel very fun or fulfilling. It's like late game stuff has to be mega powerful to still be compelling because you're so used to like the power creep over the course of the game. And like counterpoint, right? Like in Satisfactory, for example, they added portals, right? Because travel is really hard across the entire map later in the game. They addressed an emerging pain point later in the game with an emerging super powerful technology. This is not a pain point at all, right? Asteroids don't actually address a pain point. They try to make something relevant that used to be relevant. Relevant is not a pain point. Irrelevance is not a pain point. And they make it super costly, like any late game tech would be, but they don't make it, like the payoff doesn't feel very impressive. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What is an emergent late game pain point in Captain of Industry? Everything gets easier as the game goes by. You know what I mean? There's no challenge that emerges because your base is so big. Maybe it's train traffic. Maybe that's what train throughput is. So I just don't know. I don't know. You kind of dead spiral without iron. Yeah, I mean, look, you need the supply, right? Don't get me wrong. But this is what I mean when I say like contracts make the game super easy. Like for 16 servers, you get 1,500 iron ore for, and this is available very early for 100 vehicle parts. You can get the same thing. Like you don't have to mine early. You always need, or late rather, you always need ore. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have to mine very long. And I don't want them to make you have to mine later. I just mean they've introduced something that doesn't solve a problem because it isn't a problem to not have to mine later. You know what I mean? They're solving a problem that they've already solved earlier in the game. So I want the payoff to be cool. Like I don't know what it is, right? And if I knew, I'd work for them and make, make bank. I'd be a rich man. But the point is like they need to make the payoff for what you do later in the game still, like it needs to be bigger if you're going to invest all of that effort in all this late game stuff. Like Electronics 4, right? What do you use Electronics 4 for? Oh, it's space probe parts and compact reactors. These are things that you just do asteroids for, right? Like Electronics 4 has no other use in the game. Neither does the diamond reactor or lens polisher. Like you have to invest an entire new sector of your economy to drop asteroids. I don't know. I'm quite sure, they've said as much, and I believe them to have all the confidence in the world, that they'll continue to develop that. Like, this is the first pass. It's something to do. It was fun to do the first time, right? I'm sure they'll add more, and I'm sure that it'll be good stuff. They might even change the way that asteroids work. If they've shown one thing, it's that they are responsive to feedback and iterate, and the first thing that they try to do something is nowhere near a finished version. And I don't mean that like they put out an incomplete product. I mean that like they commit to continuously improving it. So as it is right now, it feels unfinished. I don't think they've declared it finished. I'm quite sure it'll get better. Does that make sense? Is that reasonable? I don't know. That's how I feel. Ooh. That's building up a little bit. And we're still hurting on limestone, my goodness. Okay. Load up, come on home. All right, I think we need to start the second mine here. This is just getting too inefficient. Like, we're bringing down half a mountain every time. Because when you look at this, it's not just the amount of rock that's directly over that tiny amount of remaining limestone ore. It's that amount of rock and then all the rock that you trigger a landslide with by digging that far. So the efficiency of this particular deposit really falls off. I think what we're going to do is say, let's pull 3 off and stand it up out here. Thanks. It's more the same thought as I had. Hopefully that update 4 isn't just, yeah. Yeah, I think it will be. And this is dangerous because you never want to project having no stop zone sprinkle through two, well, through, but yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I've just changed the problem. If train cannot stop in gaps between them either because it won't fit, it'll wait until the other, yeah, essentially treating the entire track as a no stop zone. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So like, for example, right, okay. All right, well, I will have to play around with that then. General approach and stuff, think what would be blocked if a train stops here? If it is something that would be blocked anyway, you can remove. Yeah, got it. Okay, I think that's smart. That's smart. That's smart. Hopefully update 4 is more than just a train DLC. I think it will be. I mean, so they've already announced some stuff, right? That I think is gonna be wonderful. Bridges are gonna be sweet. Amphibious trucks are gonna be sweet. It solves some of the persistent pain points in the game that you have to build land bridges. You still get to do terraforming, right? But this is stuff that actually does solve a pain point, right? And also, and you never want to rely on this. I'm not promising anything on anyone's behalf for sure. But they do sneak stuff in that they haven't talked about. You know what I mean? And I think the best studios do this. They surprise you with a couple good things that also end up being like great little quality of life stuff. They announced like they're gonna have like machine usage statistics. That was relatively recent as well. That they announced that. That I'm super excited for. That is something I would love to know because I can check a machine and be like, oh, this has been working at 10% capacity. I don't need to add a second machine. I need to figure out why it's not being used. So I'm really looking forward to that. Land bridges for you was a good way to dump in a correct way instead of let's fill the sea. 100%. And you can still make them. And there's still value in having land in that area. What it solves for me is this nonsense, right? Well, I have to, I know I could use other stuff, but in order to dig out, you can see there's sand under here, right? Just as there was here until we filled it in. In order to get to that sand, though, you have to fill it in and then dig it out and then refill it. Amphibious trucks, if nothing else, will make mining sand so much better. And, you're still going to want to fill in space, right? We built on land here that had nothing to do with getting to a resource deposit. We're definitely still going to have like terraforming mechanics. That's not going anywhere, which is good because we don't want it to go anywhere. But I think it's cool that you don't have to do it. It's not your only tool, right? You have another set of tools that you can play with now, which is cool. New machine stats will help a lot with pipe issues. Yeah, I agree. It'll signal if inputs are too low when they shouldn't. Yeah, it surfaces more information, right? And that'll allow you to make better decisions, more informed decisions. No, 100% I agree. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I'm definitely a data guy, so the more information you can give me, the better. I understand that the trade-off is like it becomes a little bit much sometimes in some ways for some people, but if you can do it intelligently, which is like surface the right information at the right time, no more and no less, then I think you've got just no drawbacks, no trade-offs. That's just purely good. So for you, best QL life change would be to make some sort of machine or button like the train tracks to move or remove the pipe supports. Yes. Oh my God, yes. Yes. Support management in the same way that we have for train pillar management would be, I mean, yeah, 100%. I would love that. I would love that. This style for, because like right now, if I don't like the supports, I have to delete and rebuild the whole pipe and play around with exactly how and where to place it to get the pillar in that spot. It drives me nuts. And in fact, it's one of the reasons I waited so long to get this stupid coastal desalination set up to help plug in over here was running it through next to a settlement is the worst. You actually cannot run a pipe through two next to each other modules because for whatever reason it doesn't set a pillar here and here. Like that's insufficient. And that's fine. I'll live with that. But then running it through this next pile of stuff is just as painful. Drives me nuts. So yeah, any more control we could have over pillar placement would be exceedingly welcome. There's a trick: if you add a loose pipe on the ground or on the pillar to ground level, it removes the pillar. Yeah, I haven't actually tried that. Trick: if you add a loose pipe here and then delete the pipe. So like what you're saying is if you add a loose pipe on the pillar, it removes the. Okay, so like if I do this, I have to build this presumably. I don't think this deletes the. I must not be doing what you're talking about right. Add a loose pillar or loose pipe on the pillar to ground level, it removes the pillar. Or do you mean like building it from the top coming down? In the pipe. In the pipe. I feel like I'm doing the Zoolander, it's in the computer thing right now. Just like that? Yeah, I see. And then removing it. Yeah, okay, that's clever. I like that. And it's not gonna like collapse. I was kind of waiting for that like oh, you're mining too close to the wall collapse notification. Oh my god. This is clever as hell. I mean, I guess it starts to look kind of funny at a certain point, but used judiciously, that's pretty great. On the pipe where it connects, yeah. But if a pipe collapses due to mining, it collapses from pillar to pillar. Okay, so the whole thing goes. If it collapses, the whole thing's out. That's the point. Yeah, okay. I mean, as far as trade-offs go, I can live with that. This is great. Look how much I'm learning today. I'm telling you, I should have started going live here a long time ago. All right, how are we doing? We are hurting on the Unity still a little bit. Did I ever finish all of this off? Yeah, keep dealing with this occasional sickness stuff. That's a great question. Did we finish this part? Yeah, okay, good. So we are good on sufficient medical supplies, and it does seem like we don't need to get this guy upgraded all the way yet, although we definitely will eventually. How are we on? Yeah, so these guys are pretty close up now as well. Fine for the moment, but okay. And the corn supply issue has mostly recovered all the way through the end fuel space now with this boosting. So I think we're going to cut the boosting down to, I guess, maybe 2 on each. I think that's right. Yeah, it definitely helps with the crowded areas. I got to tell you, like, yeah, these two are built not next to each other for exactly the reason I was just complaining about. You've just made my life a lot easier just in the area next to the settlement. I don't know why. Just like a persistent minor annoyance. And there's nothing that drives me more crazy than a persistent minor annoyance. My God. So, okay, hear me out. I'm just on the topic of persistent minor annoyances now. Oh, speaking of which, check out our entire dumbass string work because I broke it. All right, so who's stuck? Okay, so this is because he's trying to go through here and it's blocking everyone up, right? Cool. This is a learning moment, right? So he's trying to get through to here. Why will he not continue? Because he's in the way and he didn't stop. Okay, so we do need a stopping thing here, right? Tell me if I'm learning the wrong lessons, please. But I think this means we need a red zone here. Do we just need it for this whole set of cross thatches? Is that right? Does that fix it? Obviously we have to reset this train, but... No, only the crossing, not the bend. So just the area where tracks overlap? So this is fine, and this is fine, but it's these, essentially these 4 curved locations. Mostly the straight ahead part. So the exact opposite of what I just did? Because I could see that too. So always a train can move. I see. So as I've drawn it out now, red's only in the curves. Is that nice little save spot? Does this work? I'm trying to think. So if I'm a train and I come here, I don't need to check anything to go forward. What I do need to check is whether or not this is clear before I start to try to do it, right? So that makes sense. And here, same thing. I guess no matter what, if I want to turn, I need it to be clear. Okay. I think I have my head wrapped around it, and I think that this works. Please tell me if that is wrong. I'll do the same thing here. You should not merge unless it is clear. But he's stopping because he wants to go all the way through here. So does that mean that, well, this is basically a straight because this is nothing. I guess maybe it shouldn't be. It should work. See it as a balancer. You need to give it a priority out. I see. Okay. Priority out this way without crossing. Yeah, okay. It's a good metaphor. I like that. I like that. Okay. So then this should be fine. Yeah. And we'll say you can go straight, but you can't come in here unless it's clear, which should make sense. Oh, and you know what? Because we don't have the train, the refueling loop, this whole thing should actually just get out of here. We're not refueling this by train anymore, and it's just creating a random turnaround that I don't want. Oh, I thought I got rid of this train. I thought I got rid of this whole train line. Did I delete the wrong thing? Interesting. What did I delete last time? My God, what are we missing? Okay, that's interesting. We have copper, we have iron, we have wood, corn, second corn, manufacturing coal. Oh, it's the electronics coal. That's why. Okay. Every once in a while, there's like a Chekhov gun earlier in the episode, and it predicts a stupid thing that I am allowing to happen. Okay, so we need coal. Call it here as a refuel, and here as an unload, because this is how our electronics factory actually gets electronics coal supply. Oh, and we're calling it supply, not import. It's very important that we are consistent in all things. All right, but we need to get a train on here. And we'll build it from that once the, where's the train we just deleted? This one. We'll just tack on those two more. Should be okay. All right, great. Great. See it as a balancer. That's helpful. So don't let them get in, but can always go out. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's super helpful. So then out here, don't go in unless you can get out. So then I would remove this one. And this one. That makes sense either way. This one can go. In fact, this whole track can go. This is no longer necessary. That should go, but this can remain. Oops, thought we cleared that out already. And then we'll want to remove this one. What I know that's not the whole point, or it's not as simple as, but it does kind of feel like I'm basically just clearing out all the straights and leaving all the curves. And here, I think we would say continue and continue, but you can only enter here if it's clear, because this is the main line, essentially. And then same thing here. Okay. Neat. Super helpful. All right. I'm sure there's a million other spots. Like I can see them popping up here already. A million other spots where I should do this. But this is already, I think, just a super helpful heuristic. I'm just trying to like lock it in my brain. Same thing here. Here, here, here. Here, here. Man, I bet this is just like transforming our our throughput here. This is 3 different, divergences. I think that's okay. Actually, you know what? Do we want that? No, we do, because we don't want 2 trains here. And we should give priority to that one. Okay, cool. Super fun. Super fun. I am still manually refueling trains, which is not ideal, but hopefully that means that they'll actually get through the places they're trying to get through on time, including to the fueling station. Also, I think all of these should tell me if they're empty, as they are now, because I do want to treat that as, if not an absolute emergency, a pretty important thing. And we should have them at least on priority 3. I think the other one was, right? Was not. Should be. Let's just grab those. And there we go. Oh, I don't like that he tries to unload here. Yeah. Let's adjust that as well. Okay, we already said don't unload. I guess he didn't. Never mind. Cool. All right, well, that's enough train troubleshooting for now. Where the heck are we actually? We are most of the way through data center research. Have we started the new mine? I think we have, but we haven't actually set up a train. Set up the train station and everything, and we didn't finish setting up. That's right, the mine itself. So let's do that real quick. There we go. Very good. Limestone, and that should go. Is that an inbuilt notepad? It is the Steam. I'm pressing Shift and Tab. It's the Steam Notes app. And in case you're like me, I play across my laptop and my desktop sometimes. It is, I think it is conserved across both. Someone posted that as a, I don't know, it came up in an FYI or something in the subreddit. And yeah, it's super helpful. It's super helpful. I meant to make more of a point of using it in the series before. I'm definitely going to try to for the update 4 one as well. But I'm like very intentionally trying to use it instead of what I happen to have on my other screen, but that you can't see as much. You know what I mean? Because I think it's nice to follow along like what's going on. I love like Satisfactory has that. You can write notes on the side of your screen, not just for yourself but for the rest of the team if you're playing multiplayer as well. Yeah, it's super cool. I wish Captain of Industry had something native inside of that, but this super works in the meanwhile. I'll say that, that's for sure. So we need a train as well. And you know what? Let's try a hydrogen train. Let's do it. New line. All the way out here. And do we have hydrogen here yet? No, but we can add it. And then, oh, wow, great question. Where are we actually dropping it off? Right. Let's come back to that, huh? Where should we drop off limestone? Probably around here. Well, we use the most volume here, but it's not at all the majority. And we use it at all of our fertilizer spots as well. So maybe we need another large storage in this area. That's probably correct. Yeah. So then I think it might finally be time to redo this whole area. Okay. Thinking in my head, I should be thinking out loud for everyone else's visibility. So in order to redo this area, this is awkward, but we need to drop off coal in high volumes and iron in high volumes. And I guess if we're going to drop off limestone here, limestone in high volumes. Train roundabout. Yeah. I think what we're going to do is just turn this into like 2 sets of train stations here. All right, as soon as this train goes, we're going to delete and rebuild a whole bunch of stuff here. And in fact, we can already do this. Because what we're going to do is probably to here, come through there. So we're going to take this, just rotate it, and then make another one up here. That's it. It's a little unfortunate to have to do that, but we need to do it. So could we do it as it's drawn? I think we could, but it'd be better if we moved it up, call it 3 tiles or so. All right, let's do that. So at least from here should go, all of this has to go, all of that already can, as can this, at least to here. Make it a sport to do in a live section. The good old test in build, what can go wrong? Yeah, I mean, there's something focusing about doing it with high stakes, right? Maybe we go like that, more or less. I mean, not in this location, but I'm thinking that, say, this becomes limestone. What else would we bring in here, if anything? Trying to think. We might not, but we should leave room. Yeah, I think limestone is fine, just as it is for now. So we'll leave it like this, and just fill the rest in with tracks. Okay, so doing it in build, we're doing it in production. Everything breaks. Let's go. Ooh, yeah, that's going to be the biggest problem, isn't it? Do we spend all of our Unity on that? I feel like we probably shouldn't. Let some trucks get in here and take it out. But can we prioritize it better, please? Do all of this at least. Oh, it's not going to send it anywhere because there's nowhere valid to send it. Oh, God. All right, we actually do have to do this with Unity, don't we? More or less. Actually, you know what? That's not true. We could probably build over top of this. Hang on a tick. I think I got this. this is roughly correct. Is this roughly correct? It isn't, but it could be. What if we just did like so? And that's a good amount of space to leave anyway, right? It's a little awkward, but it saves us having to spin everything out. All right, there. That is as good a reason as any to decide that this is the distance that we are going to run through. This is a little awkward. We are going to have to delete all of that, but we were going to anyway. Because we're just going to run this back around. Yeah, and in fact, that means all of this can go as well. Oh boy. All right. So here's this part. And I think we'll say come all the way up to here at least, because we also need this to work. There we go. But then from here, easy. Bring it on back. And what? Like here? Yep. All right. Very good. So by making this be the footprint of the existing building, rather than having to delete it and then rebuild it, which means emptying this, finding somewhere to put it, there is nowhere else in the base to put it, we save ourselves having to unity it out and then refill it. So that's nice. It's sort of an odd way to justify where we're going to place exactly a permanent build, but it is what it is. Oh, and we have the shoot. We have now the coal and the... All right, well that's fine. We can fix this easy. So this is actually the one we want for iron. No problem. Now we say, please by truck remove this, move it over there, and it'll be coal. We can also say, please, 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 please start building all of this as well. We're going to need some crossings in here so that it can come get the limestone, and we're going to have to run the limestone around as well. So all of the wiring here is going to need adjusted, but we'll get to it. In fact, from here, well, no, we'll let trucks get to it. But this should go through. Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to have to undo all of the wiring here because we're going to need to get the coal and the limestone under this side. So let's go ahead and remove these. And then this will be, it's not yet, but it will be the iron ore. So let's run it. That's a little awkward, but also fine. Let's run it through here to that. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Let's just do that. And this one through this tiny leftover segment. No worries. Into here. Okay. So there's all that. And then this, which again will be coal as well as limestone. Ah, shoot, that still doesn't fit, does it? Guess what? It's going to be big platform now. Big platform is expensive, but so be it. And in fact, you know what? Just for a moment, drain it this way. Oh, you're stuck, bud. We'll get a crossing in here. I don't know. Here seems fine. Maybe here. That is not lined up. There we go. Let's pause that so that this can finish running out. and then it will finally be coal. Beautiful. Clear that out. Unpause that. All right, so then coal has to run under here. Like that, more or less. And then we're going to want limestone as well, which can be manually taken or it's going to be able to go all the way over here because this is high volume enough and close enough to the train station that even though it's a little awkward looking, we are definitely going to be running it around here. Is this the right length? Probably not. Nope, one more. There we go. Very good. Which means we can give it, I don't know, how about that? Good enough? Good enough. All right, not good enough though is how broken our train schedules are now. So let's fix it. This, which we will retarget everywhere, now becomes this. Same here. You're just stuck, I guess. Had a fun session. I have to go do some other stuff. Right on. Well, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. No, not a regular streamer. This is our second stream ever. So I typically do like longer form edited videos, and I've been wanting to get into also streaming in parallel for quite some time. I think some games and certainly some parts of some games are a better fit for it. So right now this was like, well, I don't know, this particular type of work I wanted to do whether I was going to be doing it live or not. It needed to be done before the next video comes out. This was the prep for it. So I figured why not do it live? Seemed like a good idea. So much appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, so if you want to go see the other videos, they're around anytime and trying to do this more often. So appreciate you hopping in and supporting early and been very helpful. So much appreciated, mate. Good luck with the rest of your day. All right, good. So this will allow them to get out. Have a good night. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. I think this is fine now. This is a little awkward, but also functional. I think I want it to come back a little bit better in the longer run, but I'm not going to delete it yet. Because I do kind of want to bring out, like, make this a little bit more road-y. Maybe like so. Yeah. Who has no mining? Oh, our new limestone mine has no mining. Let's just go down right from the start this time. More fuel. More fuel. Great. And there we go. Should probably do that. Request only if as well. I do that sometimes, not always. All right, let's do... What I don't love about this still is that we have to cross back over and there's no real like way to wait and stack. I guess we could expand this and make it a stacker for all stations and then be able to cut back over. All right, that's it. So that means we'll need to connect from here also to, I guess to, ideally the divergent point. I guess we have to move this back. That's okay. It's possible. So let's build all that, and I suppose, as a result, delete all of that. And all of this ghost can go away. Cool. Very good. All right. I've wanted to do this refactor for quite some time, so happy about that. Manufacturing limestone import. We are missing fuel again. Would love to start replacing then with hydrogen, but would also love to actually have some damn coal. Yeah, so that makes sense. We've kind of disrupted that, to be fair. What is this stretch? We have no need for this stretch, I think. That much unity drop off almost certainly, always, is missing an entire supply, and it looks like glass was a little late. Oh my gosh, we never really caught up on... No, we have glass now. I thought. Oh, we don't have coal. All right. Coal is officially an issue. Do we not have a coal mine going here? Did we pause it? Yeah, we paused it. Fools. Fools that we are. That's okay. And that's what loans are for. Very good. Almost done with the data center research. That's cool. Finally get to make the thing after all of this whack-a-mole troubleshooting. Hey, at least we had something to do while we were waiting for the research, right? Which is just keep the wheels on the base so that the whole thing actually can get through the research. But again, that's the game. Feature, not a bug. I do want to complete this deposit. I mean, it's kind of a waste not to grab it, but it's definitely a little awkward. I think I'm willing to dig all the way down here just to get this last little bit. Who all still needs bailed out? Quite a few. Still need more unity to do it, though. We have enough corn, we can probably crank it out this way. I know this is mad, but it's actually fine. And here's what we can do, now that I know the trick. I can move this over, and we'll add a fourth market. One down. See, and now we have so much corn we don't know what to do with it. And what a good problem that is to have. All right, so what we didn't look at, yes, was all of this. Maybe this should be elevated. Maybe this is dumb. So you're waiting for you. Yeah, okay, so let's use what we've learned. That should be straight. That's fine. You should at least advance to here. But these are correct to leave that way. You are mad because of you. Why are you mad? Because of up here? because of here. My God, is it really all goes upstream to here because you're out of fuel? Because you're out of fuel. Oh my gosh. Okay. We really got to fix this train fuel thing, huh? But like, actually though, that should get him going, which should get him going, which should get him. It'll take a second, but I actually think I understand traffic a little bit better now. Let's see. This is too many sand trains, officially, now that they're actually working properly. It's like way too many sand trains. How many trains do we have on this line? 5? My God. All right. We should send one of them as soon as he unloads here to get scrapped, and we'll use them on a different line probably. I think we're caught up on hydrogen too. Feels like we can save a little bit of unity on the boost in here. Very good. And of course, just as I think we're making it back on Unity, we need the health edict. But I think we're doing better. All right. And you know what? In case this is actually an issue in the future, let's make that larger too. This one specifically. A lot of trains use this one. All right, data centers are researched. How cool is that? Favorite train system between Satisfactory and COI? This is a good question. It's pretty close today. I think I'm more excited for Captain of Industry's future potential. If you ask me that question in 2 years, I think the answer will be pretty clearly Captain of Industry, because I just think that they've got their heads wrapped around the parts that don't work as well today. And also, I'll understand it better, as we saw today. Sometimes I still have plenty of things to learn. So why do I say that? What do I like? What do I dislike? I think there's a lot to like in the COI train system. This multi-station flexible loading is super cool, and it works like butter. It's super smooth. I don't have to think. It's like, all right, well, whatever train I send to this station, however many different cars it has that have whatever is valid to unload, they'll do. That's it. Satisfactory, just by comparison, you have to have like, all right, well, if I have an 8-car train, I need to have 8 stations, and it's like, all right, the third car is copper, so I got to make sure that the third station is copper, otherwise it won't line up right, and it won't like. This is so much smoother for mixed loads and such. And yeah, I just find that to be like a really cool innovation that I haven't seen elsewhere, that I really hope I see elsewhere. It's not that Satisfactory's system is bad at all. I think it's quite good. But I just think it feels like they're kind of done developing it. And so it's more like, if it's pretty close, the future potential of Captain of Industry, I think, is probably the tiebreaker for me. I think it still needs some work on ease of use. And again, I will continue to get good. I will read the damn manual, I promise. But I do think there's like kind of an intuitive nature thing that it's still missing a little bit. But it's under active development, and Satisfactory's isn't. It's really what it comes down to me. Satisfactory, the game, is absolutely still under development, to be super clear. It's just that I don't think that's a huge focus of theirs going forward, nor necessarily should it be. I'm super excited for 1.2 though. I don't really know what else they're going to put into it. I should probably look closer and see what the news is and all. But I'm kind of I don't know. I've been looking to get back into Satisfactory. I played a ton in early access. Damn it, we never set up a train for this. I played a ton in early access, and then right when 1.0 came out, like I put, I don't know, 4-digit hours into it. But then I burnt out of it because like I had done all the things I could and cared to. Um, so I fired up a few things. Like I just sort of loaded up an old save in 1.1, and it was cool. I liked a lot of the quality of life stuff that they added there. Felt like a lot of like small pain points all got smoothed out very suddenly. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't like a fundamental revamp of the game in a way that would inspire me to do a fundamentally new playthrough right then and there. But I think enough time has passed now that I'm like genuinely pretty excited to get back to it. So I think, I don't know, I could see that being something I do after the update 4 work that we do here at and the Captain of Ministry stuff. So it's like a very exciting first half of the year for me personally. Thought I already typed that. That's my problem when I try to multitask, explain a thing that has nothing to do with what I'm doing, and do both at the same time. Brilliant. Oh, I should put a train on that line. There'd be one other thing I was missing, huh? Yeah, the station aspect of Captain Mystery is better than Satisfactory, but I find setting up the rails in Satisfactory a little more intuitive. 100%. 100%. Wish we could take the best of both worlds and combine them. Absolutely. I don't know if I'm optimistic necessarily. That's a little bit what I hope happens with Captain of Industry continuing to polish and making it a little bit more intuitive, because it really is the only complaint that I have about Captain of Industry right now. Their train system, I mean. I just think it could use a little bit more just like user focus, frankly. User oriented focus, right? They and this happens in every product development ever. Pick a company, pick a product, but like they've done a really good job of thinking through the fundamentals of the like the mechanics of the product. And this is a train system that is built for by people who love train systems for people who love train systems. And that's awesome. But it doesn't have mass accessibility, right? And so you kind of have to bring in that like, naive user perspective, right? And they are. Like I said, we might even see some cool stuff in update 4. I have no idea. But yeah, once that part is sorted, it's like sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit. But yeah, love both games. Like yeah, that's just narrowing the focus to the train system. I love Satisfactory the game for many reasons that I'll never, love Captain of Industry for. It's just they're different games. Sometimes you want to go shoot a bunch of spiders, and Captain of Industry, for all of its beauty, has no spiders to shoot, which, it's probably more good than bad, but it depends on the game you want to be playing at the time. So, oh, this stacker is done now. Yeah, I would love, it's one of the reasons I was sort of thinking about like, okay, I need to not move from, but complement edited videos with live streaming is I love Satisfactory. I would love to play it on this channel. There's a lot of like, I don't want to say downtime, but like time that you would cut out of an edited video to keep pace. That fits really nicely to being played on a live stream and then doing like a weekly summary of, hey, here are the big updates, Like that fits a little bit better where Captain of Industry, more so in the late game, fits like that. It's what we're doing right now, literally, as we speak. But I feel like there's a lot more density early game. You're not like, I'm not sitting here handcrafting stuff that you'd be really annoyed to watch as a content consumer, right? That's a big part of Satisfactory. And I like that. It makes it a very chill, fun, like time passing game. It's a little bit less active management in Satisfactory, depending on how you built your factory. And so it makes it more of a sit here and stream and chat type of game than Captain of Industry can be sometimes. They're both fun. It's just sort of what format I think fits both. It's a hypothesis and I'm excited to test, but yeah. think I want to make more hydrogen trains. Did that work well? I think that worked well for our limestone one. Let's go take a look. All right, fella, how are you going to handle this hill? Fully loaded. I've talked up that coal trains are better for hills, and they are. That's the math, but let's see if that's directionally correct or like of an actually important magnitude or not. You got it, little fella. Oh. Oh my god. Wow. This is on speed 3, by the way. Here, speed 1. And he doesn't even have a full 7th car. Oh, wow. That's really bad. Okay. I mean, he does get there, and that is as bad as it could possibly be. It's a long hill. He's going to be fully loaded by definition every single time, and it's going to be fine from here. But yeah, that's significant. That's significant. Whew. Maybe we save hydrogen trains for other stuff. I don't know. I don't know. The lack of pollution's nice, and the proliferation of the hydrogen that we have is also nice. Oh, we actually do need to add a hydrogen station here, though. You can use 2 locomotives, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. It's not the end of the world to add a second loco, is it? You know what? Let's run that test, right? Let's do the same thing. That line is probably going to need a second one anyway. Let's run the test, see how it goes. For 10 to 12, you use 2 hydrogen locomotives. Looking forward to tier 2 in the next update. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I normally, and that's a fair point. Like I have the least experience with hydrogen trains because, like I said, I make the hydrogen transition late in the game, if at all. I usually run diesel for what it's worth. And diesel's somewhere in the middle. Like they're good enough. They're good enough. It's not really something you have to worry about too much. And so I've always done 1 engine per 8 cars, period. And I'll do, okay, 2 engines with a 16 car train. Maybe I'll do 2 with 12, but I usually just do multiples of my 1x8s. And that's more rigid than it needs to be. So it's a totally fair point. The other thing we could do is like double these trains up as well from like a traffic point. Probably don't need to have 4 short trains when you could have 2 long ones. But long trains do create their own logistical issues with where they poke through and everything, so everything's a trade-off, right? The one thing that is not right, though, is that this line does not have the coloration for limestone. There we go. All right, so that's finally coming through. Didn't we have a ton of steel loans? I guess we must have paid that down. That's nice. Sort of expected we'd be hurting on the iron products without all that limestone that whole time, but I guess we're okay. We did keep running out to this quarry, huh? I think we can pause this now. It's full, so if we need to unpause it real quick, we'll still have a nice little boost to save ourselves, but probably worth. And you know what? If we're going to make this a big one, let's, same as this fella, right? Big storage. But I think we're okay on this limestone transition now. I do still want to clear all this out just because, I don't know, I'm a completionist and I don't like seeing stuff when I do the resource layer. But this is more of a terraforming project now than a mining project. Case in point. We'll say let's keep it a little bit full because we do still need to be able to make cement here. Although once this mine is gone, there's an argument to relocate this production to be like out here anyway, because it'll be closer to the limestone supply. Probably wait until we finish that up, but I do think we'll probably move it over there. And glass mix, of course, also hurting on the limestone. But I think we should be okay now. Where's our 2-engine train? Guess the fastest thing to do is just to go to the train lines. All right, well, I'm not going to sit here and watch him go all the way down and back, but I do want to catch him going up that hill and see how it looks. You know what we ought to do, just to keep this fella going? Let's make another one of these. And just keep it in the train station itself. And if it works well, we'll deploy it once we've had a chance to check. All right, we unlocked data centers like an hour and a half ago. Come on, let's go implement that. What should we research in the meanwhile? Let's see. I think the other things that we wanted to implement here, yeah, hydrogen mega vehicles. I think that's the answer. We didn't do that yet, did we? I think we started it. Yeah, we're about halfway through it, even better. Okay, cool. So let's do that, and then, so what do we need for data centers? Let's talk about that. This is not where we're placing it, I'm just setting it down. So we need chilled water, which you make in a water chiller, which just takes water. Great. So we'll need to be near a water source. That's all. It also takes these basic racks, server racks, and they cost servers. What do we need for servers? Servers take electronics 3 and steel, but they aren't consumed continuously, actually. So as much as we definitely eventually need to set up a higher throughput continuous production of electronics 3, technically we just need a pile of electronics 3 in order to make the servers that we need. And you know where we have a pile of electronics 3? Is just out here because of all the exploration we did. So, just to start, we'll make a pile of them out here, because the thing is we don't need a ton of them for forever. We just need enough servers to make enough racks to cover our compute needs now. So electronics 4 are the chunkier component of this. It's 6 ingredients down to 2. We should probably make these all else equal. It's very small volumes, who cares? But all else equal, we should make them nearest the electronics 2 because it's easier to carry 2 steel than it is for electronics 3. Great. So let's do that. And again, just for now, because it's easy, we will have our steel be out here too. All of this will get much tidier. I have a very early game series of connections thing going on here. Have you ever tried boiled water thanks to wood chips? Yeah, it's one of those like sneaky efficient power sources. So where's my nearest boiler? I swear I have one out here. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so we're using animal feed, and 72 animal feed costs 60 corn. You can do 48 wood chips, which costs 48 wood, right? For the same amount of steam. It's a very efficient, especially early game, alternate tech. So it's a little bit more unit volume than coal, but trees are infinitely renewable. It's I think it's a really like sneaky pro method to run your power off wood chips. I tend, for simplicity's sake, to run it off coal and then regret it later because switching off of it is a pain. I have this personal, I don't know, I hate setting up forestry. It really isn't that big a deal at all, not even close. But I usually end up like clear cutting my entire island and then switching over to a contract. My favorite contract in the entire game is household appliances for wood here, this. I think it's a good ratio, but it also comes online around the time that I tend to be running out of wood anyway. And then I don't have to spend that much space on trees because it's so much space. Now, again, we have so much space, so I don't know why I make a big deal out of it. But as a result, I don't tend to make my power from trees, but I think it's very powerful to do so. I think it's a pretty smart move. All right, so we're going to let some servers get built up. And servers, by the way, speaking of contracts, have their own excellent ratios for some stuff here. That's a great way to get a ton of ore. Just 16 of these fellas. Now, it's a very expensive thing, right, to make 16 of these fellas and then trade it for a very basic thing, ore. But if you're trying to not have to worry about mining anymore, that's big stuff. I guess you can estimate the wood forestry service you need to produce 48 woods, 100%. And it's not nearly as big as I would make it out to be to suggest that it's difficult or painful. It's really not. It's really not. It's like a weird personal preference thing that I have that I can neither properly articulate nor certainly defend. But yeah, 100%. I think this seems to be working okay. I mean, obviously the first one worked functionally, but... All right, well, I think we have another one. He's on the way. I think that's good. I think we're going to keep doing this. Good. And in fact, let's just go ahead and directly assign it to limestone. Until we have too much limestone, I'm just going to keep doing that. Where are we going to actually do the data center itself? So the only input, the racks are basically a construction cost. The only input that we need to continuously source is water, right? And this takes electricity, like a non-zero amount of electricity. A megawatt's not nothing. But that's it. So I like to place these like at out-of-the-way water sources. Something like this or this, where what else are we going to do there, you know? It's not even a ton of water, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm always on the lookout for stuff in this game where it's like, well, you don't actually have to think about the transport or logistics because who cares? It's not far, or like you don't transport anything to it. So maybe we'll do out here. Feels like a nice little outpost and another reason to look out this way more often, which is kind of fun too. So let's just see this. The other thing about it, it does recycle some water back around, right? And you can hook these all up as well. So, and I forget the exact numbers here, but I think it's something like one of these for one of these. I think what we'll do, it's basically just like this. It's expandable. So we'll say, please run. Even just a pipe one is going to be fine here. Run a nice little pipe here, and then another one back around. And in fact, I can even, I think, get away with moving it in a tiny bit. And if there's one thing I love to do, it's save 1 square of space in a build that has no space constraints. So this reservoir has already got a pump that's wildly underutilized, so we'll just run it back around there as well. Something like this, maybe. Get ourselves a nice little ramp. And we'll call this a complex. So, these things all need built right away. And the most important thing, if we're going to call this a complex or an outpost, is that we need to make it look the part. So, let's pave. Oh, and this weird little turnaround is also no longer necessary because we aren't supplying this with a coal train anymore. We are bringing coal out manually. So let's go ahead and clear that up while we're at it. Very good. Oh, interesting. And now you're out of fuel. But you do stop there. Maybe we should tell him, yeah, if he's coming here, he can stop here as well. All right, good. That's a good idea. The nice thing I do like also about the coal trains is that those tenders that they have, the thing that goes behind the locomotive, extends range. And I kind of forget that when I switch over to hydrogen vehicles that they need either more frequent refueling, well, yeah, just more frequent refueling. So let's adjust this line to also optionally include this gas station. But only if you're underfueled. Very good. I'm also wondering at this point, does it make sense to simply add refueling in this complex if 90% of them are going to stop and grab that as well? Originally, it was about saving from having to place it at every single train station, but that might have the density now at this point to justify it, you know? We'll come back to it. All right, so how are our servers going? They aren't yet. Steel. Is someone coming? Are we out of steel? We are making some. Oh my god, what's happening to Unity? Household goods and appliances are toast. We just torched on steel right now? Sure seems that way. All right. Well, we know the drill by now. Time to borrow 3,000 steel. And then go figure out why the heck we're not making enough steel. I mean, it seems like we're making enough right now. Not enough mains 3. Right. So the other thing we need to do, I lied when I said we didn't need to consume this continuously. We do need to consume a tiny bit of it for some maintenance 3. It's not much. I mean, it can be, but we aren't going to scale it up that much quite yet. So, let's see. I might even actually use this same steel. Let me think for a moment. If we come back to, call it right here, and connect here, we should be able to also come out this way and make ourselves a little bit of steel-derived mechanical parts, which is the other input here. And we need 9 per minute if we were going to make 240 maintenance 3 per minute. We need 0.75 maintenance 3 right now. We'll need more than that, but not all that much. So this does not need to be an assembly 4. Frankly, it doesn't even really need to be an assembly 3, but at this point, we're not making anything less than that. So connect all this up, run this here, run this here. Great. This now outputs maintenance and optionally some recyclables, which I suppose we should do our best to capture, which, like, it's going to be 2 recyclables per millennium, so whatever, but great. There's our quick backyard duct tape maintenance 3 setup. My god. So is he should have come in here. Why did he not come in here? Did he come in here and it was... No? Did I maybe set up this train line wrong? Doesn't seem to be. Oh yes, I did. I picked the wrong gas station. There we go. That makes sense. Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but the fact that I screwed it up explains the behavior in a way that makes sense. There we go. Okay. And Unity is still hurting because we have not yet caught up, but we will. That's all right. Mega vehicle soon. We're at vehicle cap though, so we'll be upgrading rather than adding. Unless the first thing we do afterwards is grab 30 more vehicles. Just making sure we got all the previous ones. It'd be very silly to research the more expensive one when we were fine, but I think we should be all caught up otherwise. How is this coal mine doing? Yeah, it's still helpful for us. Come on now, bounce back. This actually is sufficient, right? It was just a steel thing. So we need 52, 32, 64. Yeah, we're fine there. It's not a huge buffer, but it's sufficient. Where we might be hurting Okay. Oh, electronics 2. Oh no. What seems to be the issue with electronics 2? That seems not good. Electronics 1, copper, coal. What else? What else would it be? All right, you don't happen to be manufacturing coal supply. Let me think. The electronics coal supply. Oh, has 0 trains for some reason. Great, I remade the line and never added anyone to it. Let's just put this on this line then, I suppose. Really want this to catch up here. We need the unity back. Who's out of mining designations? All right, let's do this once and for all. Just kind of go out to, I don't know, how about there? There we go. Good. Plenty of corn. That will take care of itself. We know. Not helpful. Not helpful. This I actually no longer care about because we get our limestone other places. Why do you not have fuel? Our trucks are too busy to deliver it, I guess. All right, done dealing with the Unity crunch right now. Let's go. Do we need, this is good. It's just the coal mine that's still going. Well, we still need the coal mine, so we'll let that keep going. But that's all right. Cool. So this is fine. The recyclables are not a problem. It's not even full. So we have maintenance 3. That's sorted. Looks great. And this is going. Wow. Want to boost it, probably can't justify it. How about the actual data center itself? How are we doing out here? Good. Good. Perfect. So we have our first basic rack, and that makes 4 teraflops. Not enough to start knocking anything else down quite yet, but it will be. So our max demand seems to be, and let's go a little bit further back. What has it ever been? 68? Great. So if we can get 80, which would be 20 of these racks, then we can delete everything else very comfortably. And by everything else, I just mean these. Frankly, we could probably do, if I pause 2, nothing's going to get mad. Let's just delete 2. Because I was just thinking we could use actually a few of the electronics 2 back until we get our coal sitch sorted over here. We're okay on coal here. It's really just the train specifically bringing it out to this factory. It's an important thing, but that's all it is. Vehicle parts 2. Got a few we can siphon off the line here. Other than that, though, that's a steel thing, isn't it? Yeah. All right, that's fine. It'll take care of itself over time. And I'll knock that down. Tell me. Not all the way. So we've got household goods, but not yet appliances, because that's an electronics 2 thing. But that is improving. Very good. You know what? Yeah, we can do 2 more. Hopefully, We can keep adding these too. There we go. All right, there we go. The Unity does seem to be bouncing back. Which I think means that we finally have some household appliances trickling in. In fact, it does. We should probably oughta, at this point, upgrade one of these, if nothing else. And of course, you've all now been sitting on the track for long enough that you need refueled. So do we have you stopping at the right spot? We do. That's good. And it is optional to do so unless you have enough fuel. Good. Is that also true on the sand line? It's not. But it's going to the... That's right, it's going to the copper. Okay, so yeah, it wouldn't work. Okay, good. I think that's all finally sorted. Let's find out what the next thing to pop will be. But, very good. Another rack. I think that means we should be okay to... Nope, absolutely not. Probably should have waited a little bit longer here. A little too excited. But let's go ahead and improve the throughput over here then. And this, let's absolutely bring all of our electronics 3 over. In fact, only receive if it's very low. Not that we have a ton to go through here, but I'd rather burn through all of these leftovers than I would worry about supplying them locally. Very good. That's 12. That means we can add another rack. So 4 racks at 4, so that's 16 coming from the data center at this point. Not enough to knock over another one yet, but close. What else did we want to work on here? Could add more farms. I think we're actually doing fine on corn, to be honest with you. We did this now. We have refactored the train station. We have done the coastal desalination for these new farms. We've done the new limestone. The iron and copper transitions haven't had to happen yet, so it doesn't matter. We've done, I think, a pretty good amount of work, actually, already here. And we did all of this accidental emergency work here, too. We've got our new limestone mine, as we said. All right, good. So we can actually just straight up delete all of that. The data centers, it's not finished yet, but we can say we've made good progress. I genuinely don't know if I care if we add more farms. I kind of wanted to. So here, let me explain my thinking. I've been preparing this area for ages for more farms. It's a ton of fertile ground. We scraped off an extra layer of dirt to make fertilizer for a while, and it just needed water. And this reservoir was really struggling out here just off these 6 farms, even with all of these rainwater harvesters. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to cut through the mountain and then supply via a cargo dock out this way the groundwater well. This is going to be my very clever solution. Run a pipeline. And we're fine on corn. We just don't need more farms. I would love to finally do that, and probably, frankly, will anyway, but what the heck? So, okay, if this is red, why did he go? It feels like that's not the thing that I thought I learned. Is it perhaps because he was still unloading? I do wonder. Maybe we should extend this and then turn around? Now I'm just curious. Obviously, he's going to have to get reset anyway. Small segment of straight track. should be no stop 2. Small segment of straight track. Like here? I've already deleted, I think, the thing that you were referring to. Is it up here? Well, I just added those. That can't be. So this, basically, I should not clear the straightness from here. That's the point. Because I think that probably does make sense. Yeah, got it. Cool. Okay. Very good. Thank you. That extended turnaround will help it not block up unloading either, though. So I think that was separately worth doing, but not the primary concern. Very good. Thank you, train expert Victor. You ever need like a customer testimonial on your website for your train consulting startup, you just let me know. I'm more than happy to declare myself a satisfied customer of your professional advisory services, my friend. So does this area then need to also be no stop? I don't think so. I think the answer is no to that, but I could be wrong. Glass mix, is this still limestone? Okay. Yeah, this still has not sorted itself out. I think we could give it a nice little one-time boost, but that is a temporary help, not a long-term solution. Still, temporary help is important. Electronics 2 and again. Coal, naturally. Shall we push some of it? I think we shall. Do also wonder, kind of want to improve the throughput here and add ourselves some external storage as well. I think all of this can probably go. I haven't had to use it. I was just going to say sand hasn't been an issue. Okay, no, that's just this one. That's good. Yeah, we did get sand sorted. Sand is very sorted, I will say. Oh, except for we should just fill in this whole dump, of course. I'd like to get this whole spot here filled in. It just looks pretty rough to have this massive scar in this area. Can we add a couple more racks probably at this point? Beautiful. 5 even. So that means we're making 36 teraflops here, which means we can't quite get rid of everything here, but much closer. I would say 2 more, easy. Immediately triggering red, right? Just so easy, super easy. So this is what? Not even a quarter full. Yeah. Yeah, our trade rep's good. I don't mind if we miss a payment or 3. The other thing we could do, I'm realizing as we delete these, we've probably got a whole bunch of excess construction parts for, yeah, brilliant. So let's upgrade some housing, right? Would allow us to, I don't necessarily, we don't need the population. Good Lord, we don't need the population. But it would allow us to shrink our footprint. So for 160, here and say here, so that's 320, that would allow us to delete an entire housing 3. And in fact, I think we'll disable pop growth here. And we'll get some parts 3 back too. Sweet. Why is our population growth? Yeah, okay, great. So it just means we're not going to regrow after we catch a flu. Great timing, naturally. Of course. We are maxing out the food consumption, though, which is good. Oh, and I did say I wanted to add another market in here just to keep this from getting mad at us. So let's do that at your leisure, Truck Network. And is that extra limestone train we built? My goodness. These vehicle parts too are taken for friggin' ever. Guess we could upgrade these as well. So that makes 24. It will also need to be upgraded. And then some more racks to fix the angry red bar in the top right. Not all the way. Throughput is just not very good, huh? Cool. With these sorted, though, now where do we want to reduce our footprint? It'd be sweet to be able to remove this entire row, sort of shrink this all down. I don't know what we would do with the space, but I think we could do it. So maybe we'll start here and replace it if we want to. With one of these in case we don't end up deleting these, but I think we will. This also does increase, right, both our consumption overall and our Unity bonus if we're able to supply it. So one other thing we haven't yet done is consumer electronics, right? Which we should probably think about doing. Don't have to, could. They are earlier in the tech tree than I'm looking. I swear I go blind every time I open this live. Well, they're right after aluminum, right? They have to be. And after here. There we go. Looking for the little laptop. So it's a little bit further in the future. We would have to go up through Research Lab 4. If we do, it won't be today. Certainly won't be today. Probably won't be tomorrow. We have the aluminum. That's not the issue. The issue would be scaling up the parts 3 and frankly just setting up the whole Research Lab 4 thing. Possible. Don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze in the short term that we're talking about, so seems unlikely. That helps a lot, but isn't quite yet exactly what we need, but we're getting close. We're getting close. Very good. Speaking of getting close, though, how is this mine doing? Yeah, it's all right. Totally fine. Totally fine. Cool. Traffic seems a little better. do kind of wonder, I don't mind these guys lining up here. I mean, I kind of mind the coal having to. Coal probably does deserve its own station. Honestly, it might make more sense to have the coal on this side with the limestone in some ways, just given the volume of each train that's coming through. But ultimately, it's just going to be kind of a crowded area. We could add more stackers, you know, the usual playbook. Might as well, right? That angle's terrible, isn't it? Sure, there, right? Oh, whatever. Don't matter. All right. The water output is full. Oh, yeah. Whoops. So, this is actually a closed loop system. Do not need this in the longer run. And in fact, need to remove a little bit of it so that this can drain. I think that's okay. And in fact, go ahead and clear that out. Oh, no, it's not a totally closed loop system. No. But we should have a priority balancer. That's what we need. So, clear this out, build this. You come in like so, priority in. And then you are the backup input. Good. Oh, and then, do have to connect it to the building of interest as well. Cool. Sorted. Drop off some more racks while we're here. We are very nearly. Are we maybe done with these? We might be. If we knock 16, we'd be down to 72. Not quite. I mean, close enough. It's going to spike over a couple more times, and then we'll just catch up here. Brilliant. Nice. Feels very nice to have these off the map, even if it is, I'm sure, about 15 seconds too early. So be it. Let's get that coal mine repaired, or upgraded, rather. Better throughput would not be amiss. But then, of course, we do want our trucks to be able to fill this in here. So if this is ever short, and I don't like doing this as a structural answer, we're not going to do this as a structural answer, but we do need to be able to do it as a backup at least. I don't think trucks reach this, right? No chance. Coal mine upgraded. Brilliant. Right, you're not actually reachable, I don't think. Give me a nav overlay. Yeah, seems unlikely. I don't want to do a truck backup. I just want to fix this, you know? So let's take a look at the line. Where's our train? Here it is. It's just probably not enough. So let's get another one building. And maybe just as a one-time thing, send that across the map. Hopefully some of it goes here. No, apparently not. All of it out here, of course. So be it. It'll get there. More servers. Do you think we should put a hydrogen stop out here as well, actually? As soon as he gets out the way. There we go. And naturally, that will require a little bit of storage. Keep her full, please and thanks. All right, very good. I think we're officially okay here. I know we've spiked up before, so we're not past our total max consumption, but we seem to be, I think, past our 90% of the time consumption, which is pretty great. So pleased with that. And then extra space over here. Can we knock down another one of these if we, yeah, upgraded one more? Let's try that. Cool. And everything's very stable. We could probably use a little bit more hydrogen throughput, but that is a tale as old as time. You know what, now that this is cut over, you know what we should do is extend this. We've been boosting these constantly. Might as well. So you go there. Everything else, I think, connected properly. Except for steam. Do we have enough steam throughput over here? 48 and each of these is 2. Yeah, of course. What a silly question to even ask. You always have the steam throughput for more hydrogen. We gotta, of course, extend our little caution line here so people know not to stand so close to the industrial area. But good, I think that'll help. And we have more corn storage too. I think what we might do... Yeah, some of this might need upgraded, actually. Here, here, here. Feels about right. Maybe even here. Yeah, definitely here, because that will also then encompass this. Cool. Very good. Oh, we never, that's the issue. Never reconnected over here, so we're missing a whole market's worth. Oh, not a whole market's worth. Some fraction, though. How are we on steel? Yeah, okay. And then we're very nearly done with coal. Great, honestly, just fix it. Good. All right. I think we are landing in a good spot here. I'm going to drop off a couple more servers, and then I will feel good about the day's work. We officially have, I think, more capacity than we ever did. That's definitely true. And we're in a very stable spot on corn supply. We're in a fine spot on everything else, I would say, except for copper. I don't want to leave us with too much of an issue here, but there's always something. If you wait until the base is in perfect shape to log off, you will never log off, which is beautiful, but also terrible. Oh my god, speaking of which. God, we gotta figure this out at some point here, huh? Trying to come through here. Yeah. And then you're stuck, because you're stuck. Great. This is what you were saying, Victor, earlier, that we do actually still need this area to be no stop as well. Great. So recover this one. Everything else should clear itself out here shortly. Very good. All right, cool. So I think we're going to call it here for now. This feels like we have done what we set out to do. We are officially done. I mean, not, we'll continue to expand the data centers we need to, but we've done with the data center transition from the mainframe computers. We could, of course, expand microchips, but we'll do that as we need to. Speaking of as we need to, we haven't needed to add anything on the farming side. We've made our mining transitions that were important. It's a lot of just sort of pretty stuff now. We can add more technologies, including hydrogen vehicles, probably in the next one. And yeah, we're well on our way, I think, to being able to call this a done deal. We're not there yet. We're well on our way. So I think the plan here will be probably do another one of these sessions. At some point, I want to put out, I might do just like a quick check-in tomorrow summary of the work that we did this stream and last, like a more edited version of things for the folks who did not tune in. And it won't be very long because it's just a quick summary. It's not a lot of setup work. But then I'll probably do a little bit more of this next week as well to get us across wherever we decide the finish line is. So that's the plan. I will maybe try to give a bit more notice about when I'm going to schedule a stream next time. It was a little, my week was emergent availability, so I didn't have too much heads up on my own, but I'll try to, if and when I have that, share it with folks ahead of time as well. But yeah, especially considering that, really appreciate folks hopping on again. It's very fun, as it was last time, to get to interact with folks, and it's great. I learned stuff. I learned lots. So really appreciate everyone hopping in and chatting and sharing thoughts, advice, learnings, and just having some fun. Great way to spend the afternoon. Beats the hell out of working by yourself, doesn't it? So very good. But until the next one, though, have a great rest of your day, and bye-bye.